To a very oh, I'm being recorded now. I'm nervous. I've been on a very interesting trading journey, being that I feel like I do a lot of studying, but my discipline has not always been on point. But I always feel like even with my losses, I get lessons, and I'm definitely gonna get to elite status of trading. And I just came across something that I've been hearing about, but it finally made sense to me. And hopefully it's going to make sense to you guys. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over a couple things. The major thing is stop hunts. So who all here has got stopped out of a trade? Everything looked right, it looked perfect, and all of a sudden this big old wick just came out of nowhere and just took you out. Go ahead and drop a stop in the chat box if you felt like you just had the perfect setup and you just got stopped out and you didn't know why, and you felt like the market was working against you, like it was a setup. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt like for a long time, like, all right, man, this Forex thing, it's a setup because I feel like I do everything the instructors tell me to do. Everything is perfect, and all of a sudden, boom, I get stopped out. So I just want to go over what the stop hunt is and how you guys can take advantage of it, how you guys can win off the stop hunt. At this point, the stop hunt doesn't hunt me. I hunt the stop losses, and I make a lot of money off of trading off of stop losses. So I'll go ahead and just start getting into it. So for instance, when you guys see these long wicks in the market, I want to let you guys know what's happening is these are bank moves, right? So with the bank moves, the bank wants to push the market certain places. So they push it up super high and they push it up super low. And the reason why they push it in these places is because they have what's called pending orders. So, what are pending orders? Pending orders are basically where the banks put their money at. So, I'll go ahead and type this up for you. Pending orders. So, the banks have millions and millions and billions of dollars hiding in these areas. So, we don't know where these areas are, but the banks do. Now, how do the banks activate these orders? Because these are like a bunch of buy limit orders. Let's say this is like $1 billion worth of buy limit orders. How do we get there? Well, guess what? The banks have to sell to buy. The banks have to push the market down to activate the orders. And this is how you know it's a bank move, because retail traders like us, we don't have enough money to push the market and cause this wick. This is like billions of dollars to push this market all the way down and have this reaction. The only way it can happen is because of the bank. So what happens is the banks push the market down, they activate a bunch of orders, and then price skyrockets. So you guys can see what happened after this long wick. Price continued to went up, and I was able to take advantage of this move, and I'll show you guys how. So one thing that I want you guys to know, if you want to write down just a quick mental note, the market or the trading exchange, they sell to buy and buy to sell. Now, what does that mean? When you see these extreme points, you can start looking for buy opportunities when you see these long wicks, right? So I should just go back and back test it. When you see the market go up, like right here is another one that I marked up, the long wicks. The market buys to sell. It bought all the way up here to capture these pending orders. And guess what the market did? It plummeted. Look at all of these pips. Let's go ahead and see how many pips this is if we would have got in on this area down to here. Oh, this is Bitcoin. So, I mean, this is Ethereum. So the pips don't make sense, but it's a lot of money, a lot of money. So I'm actually going to go ahead and look through a couple of other pairs just so you guys can see what the stop hunt looks like and what the pending orders look like. And the pending orders is also called liquidity. So if you guys hear any of the instructors say anything about liquidity, liquidity is basically means it's just a bunch of money there waiting to get activated. So this is another example. And also this red dot is the monthly low or high. So these are monthly highs and lows. And this is a little indicator. It's called sessions, minimum and maximum points. And I got it set up to show me where the monthly lows and highs are so I can trade off of that. But once again, you see the market went up and down, did its thing, and went up into this zone, and it took a huge drop. Why? No, we want to catch these moves. So how is it that this move happened? Because it hit a liquidity zone and a stop hunt. For example, the average trader, the retail trader, if they would have got into this trade right here with this green dot and put in a sale, where would you guys have put in your stop loss? Like right here, the average consumer, the average trader, they would have put their stop losses right in this little window with the black lines, right? Because they saw the sale and they got in on the move and they got the big drop. So what this means is all of the other consumers, all of the other retail traders are also putting stop losses right here. So what's going to happen? What is the bank going to do? The bank is going to chase your stop loss. And once it takes all your money, or it takes all of the retail traders' money, the average consumer money, the people that's over leveraging, and the people that's putting in too many positions and putting in too tight of a stop loss, they're going to take it, and then you get this huge drop. This is why you get these big candles. These big candles are called institutional candles. I want you guys to write that down as well. Institutional, big candles are institutional candles. That's how you know the banks are trading. So this is just a concept that I want you guys to understand. The market buys to sell, sells to buy, and also big candles are institutional candles. And these are just things I want you guys to think about in your day-to-day trading. So once again, this is another liquidity zone with pending orders. How do I know that? Let me go ahead and pull this right here. So we had the market touch, touch, touch right here. Guess how many people had their stop losses right underneath here? You know how many people had a stop loss right there? Millions and millions of people. And guess what? The market came and took that right here. And it's not ironic that after that liquidity got activated, you see what the price did, right? So off of these two things, off of the market buying to sell and selling to buy, and also liquidity zones, is that making sense? I don't want to lose you guys. I just want to give you guys a couple of tips so you can add to your trading concept. And I want you guys to actually think about this stuff when you're trading and see what I see so it can improve your trading. So is this making sense, or does anybody have questions? Because I got another segment that I'm gonna get into that's gonna completely change the way you trade. So drop a 5 in the chat box if it's making sense for you. And also if it's not making sense, please let me know because I don't want to confuse you guys. All right, cool. So another thing, you guys see these blue lines on my chart, right? This is called session breaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click that and I can turn it on and off. So what is a session break? A session break basically divides up what's happening in your trading session or your trading day. Now I want to let you guys know something that's extremely valuable that I just like woke up to. I actually learned from the instructors on the IM Academy, Jonathan and Nina. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about them, but I actually went into their live accounts and they talk about session breaks, wicks, and liquidity zones a lot, and this is where I learned it from. So with the session breaks, I want you guys to start paying attention to what happened in the session. All right. Now, this is like the secret sauce. And once again, I don't want to confuse you guys. A lot of times you have to look at what's happening in a previous session to know what's going to happen in this session. For example, right here, when you see the current session taking out highs from the previous session, I want you guys to start looking for sell opportunities. So I'm not saying, hey, if it took out the highs from the previous session, do a market entry sell. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is look for a sell opportunity. And this is the perfect example because this order is not in yet. So in this session right here, you guys see this was a high and it took out the highs and it got higher highs. That was yesterday or 2 days ago. Yesterday, it took out the highs from the day before. So anytime that I see the market taking out highs, I use the concept the market is buying to sell. So I look at that as like they're collecting orders or collecting money. It's actually called accumulation. When they're collecting money, I'm looking for the big sale. How I put all this together, I know I'm approaching a liquidity zone right here because we got the stop hunt. At this point, I'm trading with the banks. The banks want the market to push down, obviously, because there's so much money in here. So as they're taking out highs, taking out highs, taking out highs, I went ahead and put a sell limit right here because we see price went right here. We see that we have the stop hunt right here. And this is also could be, it's kind of ugly, but it also can be like a head and shoulders. This can be the head, this can be the shoulders. So I just went ahead and put a sell limit right here and put my stop loss up here. So the concept is when you see the market taking out higher highs or taking out the highs or lows of the previous session, it usually means that the market is going to drop. And this happens at extreme areas. I'm going to go ahead and try to find another example for you guys. So once again, this was a stop hunt, liquidity zone. I want you guys to start paying attention to these zones because it's very valuable, because that means look for buy opportunities. Look at the RSI. You see how far the RSI pushed down? This means it took out a whole bunch of stop losses and accumulated a whole bunch of orders. And we got the nice wick. This is on the hour time frame as well. And what I see is I look at all of these lows that the market took out. And anytime I see consecutive lows being taken out, I'm thinking that I'm waiting for it to hit rock bottom, and I'm looking for a big buy opportunity. So these were session lows that got taken out. These were session lows right here that got taken out. This was a session low. Guess what? This is not going to get taken out because this is rock bottom. This is a monthly low, and it's a long wick. And we have days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of it taking out lows, taking out lows, taking out lows. That just means it's accumulating orders. Accumulating orders, then you look for buy opportunities. This was the breakout. This is the pullback. This would have been a perfect entry right here. And I got some examples of where I did this at. So once again, this is the stop hunt. These were the pending orders. This was a nice, and we know Head and Shoulders because, you know, Rhonda, Ellie, and Sean talk about Head and Shoulders all the time. This is a perfect Head and Shoulders, a beautiful Head and Shoulders. It took out all of these lows and collected all of this money, and now it established a new floor. So what did I do? I put in a buy limit right here, put my stop loss underneath these lows, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Look how perfectly it wicked into this zone. When you guys start to see this stuff, you're actually going to be able to like super pinpoint your entries and get super sniper entries. It's not ironic that these wicks landed right in this area and rejected. Why? Because it's a zone of liquidity. This is a major zone right here, of course, because we got this huge wicks. But then also look how the market is respecting this zone so perfectly. Why? Because it's a lot of money in those zones. And that's where I look to put in my pending buy orders. And then as far as my TP, I just take it to the recent high or somewhere where it's been already. So let's look at another one. This is a order. This is the one I dropped in the chat in a trade talk. So once again, look how the market took out all these lows for all of these days. All of these days, it was taking out lows, 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 and it finally hit rock bottom. It hit the monthly low, and if I zoom it out, it respected my trend line on a larger time frame. So this is what I do. When I see it continuously taking out lows, like especially this block right here. When I see this big block of lows, a lot of people had stop losses right here. And guess what? It cleared it out. So once it cleared it out, I'm looking for buy opportunities. I'm looking for it to hit rock bottom and retest. And that's exactly what this did. It hit rock bottom. And now it retested in this zone. And I entered right here on this black line. Look at my buy limit and look at my drawdown. I want y'all to look at this. We're talking about a 5 pip drawdown. I never saw the red. I'm actively in this trade and I posted this in the chat. I never saw red. Now think about how that feels. And the reason why this feels so good to me is because I used to hate being in the red. I used to hate having to wait to get out of the red and not know if I'm in the right direction. When I'm trading like this, it tells me that I'm going to be in the right direction. I can be confident to take a nice risk to reward like this because I know where the market is going to go. So the difference between now and then, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, the average person or the average trader can look at this trend and be like, oh, cool, it's gonna sell forever. When it's selling, selling, selling like this, I'm just looking at it as like, cool, I'm looking for my buy opportunity because the rest of the world is looking for sales. And the rest of the world would have lost money when this went up. But since we're not the rest of the world, we're gonna trade with the banks. We're gonna look for the stop hunts. We're going to look for the monthly lows and we're going to get in at a good risk to reward ratio. Let me see if I have any other ones marked up. Like I said, if this is making sense to y'all, please let me know. This is actually the one that Rhonda just dropped, and I already had it marked up. Now, why did I have this marked up? When I zoomed out and looked at this whole picture, this is what I see. This is what catches my eyes. I see this zone right here. If I'm the banks, where am I going to go ahead and take people's order, or where am I going to go ahead and put money for the sale? I'm looking at it right here. I see that the price wicked up in this area and skyrocketed down. Then it came in this area again and skyrocketed down. What does that mean? That means there's a lot of money in this area. It means it's big money to push the market down. So just like how Rhonda marked it up, this is like a head. And what it's probably going to do is pull down. Let me go ahead and get my arrow so y'all can get the visual of this. It's going to break down, then go ahead and pull back up, and then go back down, just like the market does every single day. And Rhonda marked it up perfect for you guys, so I hope you guys took the trade. But I want you guys to get the concept once again. The market buys to sell. I want you guys to pay attention to what happened in the sessions. I look at this session and I see I got a rejection. I see I got a rejection. I see I got a rejection. But then all of a sudden, it broke all of those. Once again, the average consumer is looking to continue with the buy. My concept is this is pending orders here. This is where the big money is. So the bank is just pushing this up to wick everybody out, and we're not gonna get caught in the stop loss no more. Them stop loss days is over, because we know where the stop hunt is. The stop hunt is right here. I want you guys to visualize that these are all pending orders, and these are all stop losses that got taken out. I'm gonna take the sell stop, catch the momentum down, and go ahead and get the money. And then I can always, just like how Rhonda did, put my stop loss above that previous high. And this is a monthly high as well. So the chances of it cracking that is probably very low. Also, I have my indicators to help out as well. If you guys use RSI, you guys see the RSI was at an extreme point. It was at a high, extremely overbought. So I just want you guys to start paying attention to that. If you can, go ahead and put on your session breaks so you can pay attention to see what happened in every session. I want to try to find one more example so I can make sure you guys get it. So instantly, what do I see? I see this long wick in this zone. I see price dip down in this zone. I see price dip down in this zone. If I was in here, first thing I would have saw was, let me see what sessions did it take out. It took out the lows out of this session, took out the lows out of this session, took out the lows out of this session. It hit rock bottom. I'm not looking for a sell. I'm looking for it to buy now. But at the end of the day, it took all of these pending orders, and look what it did, guys. Y'all see price skyrocketed. So this is how you guys catch these big moves, by paying attention to where the liquidity zones are, and pay attention to the wicks, pay attention to the stop losses. And if you see a big wick, here's another one right here. If you guys see long wicks, pay attention, because that means there were pending orders there, especially this. It wicked down, it came out, then it wicked down again. If anybody saw that, y'all can know that the market went crazy, because guess what? It's collecting money. I want you guys to get the concept of every time it wicked down into a zone and rejects, it got a big order. I'm talking billions of dollars. And billions of dollars is what make the market do this in one session. This is in one day. So I want you guys to start catching these moves in one day. And the only way you can catch these moves is by spotting out liquidity zones. All of this little choppy stuff is cool. Like if you was in a sale, yeah, that's cool. You know, we in a sale, but it's very choppy. But wouldn't you guys like to catch this move? These are 1 hour candles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 hours of just straight profit. That's the stuff that I want you guys to see. Now with this strategy, you guys don't have to super switch up whatever you're doing that's working. Just make sure you put it on your session breaks. If you don't know how, just go ahead and right click. Go ahead and open this up, go to chart settings, and go to session breaks. And just start paying attention to what happened in the previous session. What happened in the previous sessions? Is it taking out lows? Is it taking out highs? Is it consolidating? I'm gonna give one last one, and then I'll go ahead and pass it back to Rhonda or whoever's gonna take it. So coming here, what do you guys see? What do you guys see? Somebody unmute themselves and tell me what do you guys see in this section right here. Go ahead and break this down to me, please. In this big green section, because it's pretty obvious. Somebody unmute themselves and tell me what you see. I know y'all see it. If y'all don't see it, then I just wasted my time. Tell me what you think you see.
Somebody said liquidity. Miss Nina said liquidity. Someone said long buy wicks.
All right.
It won't
Cool.
let us unmute. There you go, Miss Nina. You can unmute now.
You with us, Nina? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This was the stop hunt and liquidity. So you guys were right. So this peak right here, this where the pending buy, they're telling us where the pending buy was, because after it hit this area, look how it rejected out of this area so much. And then moving forward, look how price reacted. The market buys to sell, and it happens all the time, guys. So I just want to make sure you guys get it. We can continue to talk about it a little more on each trade call. If you guys want some one-on-one help, please reach out. It's not a concept that you're going to get right away, but I just want you guys to get the vision overall so it can start making sense to you. Also, so we can avoid stop losses, stop hunts, and trade with the banks. Because if we're trading with the banks, we're moving with the money. And that means everything is going to push, super push in our direction. And we can comfortably do really nice risk to reward ratios. Last thing I want to show you guys, I just realized that we can actually save our trades by going here. You can go to take a snapshot, or actually, I'm sorry, publish. And you can go to publish idea. So if you guys see a setup, you can publish your idea, just hit publish, save it to yourself, and then you can go back and look at how your trade played out. So what I'm doing that's been working for me, I'm gonna try to get one that hit. So this one right here, this was AUDJPY on the 14th, and I got my whole setup, and I wanna see how it played out. So I can literally hit the play button and see exactly what it did. And I hit both of my TPs. And even deeper, after I hit my TPs, my buy limit is still active and still going. So it looks like I'm gonna hit TP again. So if I wanted to re-enter that trade again, I could have. So I advise you guys to start using this to start to look at your trades and see what you're doing to become a better trader. Because me, I'm a visual person, so I need to look at it. Let me see, what is this? Euro JPY on the 13th. Let's see how this played out. So I had a buy limit right here. Boom. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? And look how perfectly it's respecting the structure. I had my stop loss right underneath the low. It was close, got a little scary, but after that, it took off. So I want you guys to start using this feature so you guys can look at your trades and look at your setups and get the visual of what makes sense. And this is going to help your trading out tremendously. I think this one was a really good one, if I'm not mistaken. I think we looked at this one. But all right, after this, I'm done. I'm going to pass it back. So price was way up here. I'm waiting for the pullback because I recognize this as a liquidity zone. Now, why is this a liquidity zone to me? Because it hit rock bottom. I got my little red dot. That means this was a monthly low on Ethereum. And then I saw it break out. That's exactly what I wanted. But I saw these little wicks. I saw a wick, and I saw a strong wick in this area. And then I scrolled back and I saw that price got up out of there in that same area. So just visualizing, I want you guys to start seeing like, okay, that looks like where pending buy orders is. So my concept was cool. I'm gonna put in a buy limit. If I don't activate, I don't activate. I don't win no money, I don't lose no money. I'm even. Breaking even is a win. But if it does, I just put myself in a great risk to reward position, because once it comes back in his zone, I could put my stop loss right under here. It was probably about 20, 30 pips to get 200, well, it's different with Ethereum, but 248 pips for a 37 pip risk to reward. That's like 3 to 1, almost 4 to 1. I'll take that all day. And if it don't activate, it don't activate. Cool, you don't lose no money. But if it do activate, let's see what happens. Look how perfect that was. I want y'all to see the perfection to that. Like this makes me feel like a top tier, like professional, like educator trader, because it's not too many people that's getting precise entries like that. How am I getting these precise entries, guys? Because I'm finding the liquidity zones. So once again, I want you guys to get the visual of finding the liquidity zones. If any instructors is talking about trading with the banks or liquidity, pay attention, because the liquidity is what pushes the market. So that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully, you guys got some value, and I showed you guys, but this really, this says it all right here. This trade right here says it all. This trade right here speaks for itself. So I'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Rhonda.